But
It's like a Star Wars transition.
yeah, kind of. Although they do mostly swipes and the blowouts. They don't quite do like a whole cube transition.
No.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is grab grab your page tool here. Okay, drag your page tool kind of underneath here. Just create a big holder, essentially a placeholder for it. You need a title for it. We're going to connect this to our projects page here, and then each one of these or a couple of these are going to be what we see on here. Okay, what we see is the cards. I'm going to change these up a little bit. I am going to disconnect them from this component, and you'll see it breaks. Because of the way that I have this set up. Content. Oh, right. Okay, cool. Do I want to set it up that way? Yeah, we could do that. We can set up a static grid for that. The reason I want to change that is I want control over how they look. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this grid, I think. No, I'm just going to bring in images and set it up that way. Sorry, let me back up really quick. Okay, I'll just delete that. All right, let's build it down here. So we're going to need another frame down here. We're going to make one frame that is kind of, just trying to think of how this looks in here. All right, a little bit smaller. It's our 4040. Okay, cool. That's what I want. So this is 295 by 187. I'm going to round my corners just because why not. And then let's give it a border. Let's do. That's too many. Let's do that border. And then we'll drop that down just a little bit. And then a shadow. We're probably going to want a shadow. A little bit bigger. Okay. We'll see how that looks eventually once we've connected. Essentially what we do is we then connect it here. But there's no content on it, so it's not going to display. There we go. Okay, so that's a little too big. Let's make it smaller, get it down to the size we want it to be. What was our size here? 295, 187. So make your page the same size, 295, 187. Notice how it's because we have a shadow and a border on there, it's all weird right here in the corner because our page frame isn't rounded. So you also have to round your page frame. I don't know that we really need the shadow actually. Let's take that off. Just leave it white. Okay, we have that one, and then we'll just stick something in here. You can fill it with an image. You can fill it with whatever you want. I'm gonna do another. Well, let's set it up completely before we make new ones.
Does we have a stack?
Nope. Nope. It's for the page tool is different. It doesn't need a stack for that.
I confused for a moment because I have to connect the stack to the pages and not like.
Oh, individual pages, right? Yeah, no, you just connect individual pages, and the pages don't have to. They're just frames that are just set up the way you want them to be. So, like with this one, we could do. We could actually set it up a little differently than this. I'm going to change this. That's good. So, like inside this frame, I'm going to create another frame. And this frame is going to have our image. some text. That sucks. It's my mood for the day. So I'm sorry about that. Stuff. Pro text. Let's go heavy. A little bit bigger. I'll change it from that. Computers. Display. There we go. That's the one I wanted. We like computers. Okay, we'll just put it there. And maybe something more here. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, let's stick our palette here.
Maybe that's sort of lead speak anymore. We see how things now.
Right.
Give it the times, old man.
I know. All right, so we make two more, at least two more. You can do, actually we do four more. You do as many as you want. Change our image. Not to that thing. Godzilla, that's better. Change this image. Aww. Modular memory from the Sphinx project out of Russia in the late 80s. There are some modular phones, yeah.
Use crying, laughing, basically.
Well, I don't have enough room now. Yeah, I don't have enough room.
How do you get up the emoji keyboard on there?
What is it? There we go.
You have to use the
I have to use emojis. All right, fine.
control commands.
Control command.
You can search Google for emoji.
Didn't put-
Doesn't allow.
Oh, this doesn't take it. Control command space.
Sad. What the heck?
Okay. There we go.
Oh, nice. You can search Google with emojis.
Nice.
The results are
It's a universal language.
big crying face.
It didn't add it. There we go. Okay. So you can see we have one here, right? Set up inside of our page. So just grab your other. Notice the three dots. Just means you can connect more. So just come in and connect a bunch. Now the page has some special parameters you can set here. Stretching the direction that you want it to flip. It can flip up and vertically or horizontally. We're going to do horizontally. Gaps that you want between them, whatever. Momentum, do you want it on or off? Dragging on or off? We're going to leave momentum off. Dragging we're going to leave on, and then we're just going to set it to cube wheel. You could do cover flow. That would do then I think it like pushes it, like does the angled thing, like when you're in Finder and you do the cover flow sorting. Remember what that looks like? I never use it because it's stupid. This. Oh, it doesn't do the, never mind. Isn't that cover flow? College galleries. No?
I think they
Did they get rid of it from Finder? It was so stupid. It was like such a terrible.
I think it's hidden.
It would make me cringe whenever I saw people like that's how they sorted through their files on their computer. I'm just like, oh my god, what are you doing? Anyway, so you set up a page tool. You set up some frames that you're going to feed into the page tool. Okay, so you just set them up the way you want them to look, and then these frames can link to whatever you want them to link to. Maybe they have their own pages. whatever. If you are going to link them to their own pages, you need to link them from the frame that you've connected to the page. Okay, not the page itself. You can't link. Don't link the page container there. So computers and links. So if I have separate pages set up for these, that's where they would go. And maybe I'm not going to do it right now, but I'll show you how that sets up. All right, so we have it. But this, oh yeah, okay. So let's, wow. So to click on it and go to it. Oh, it does. Yeah, whoops, I accidentally set up a link that went straight to it. So, okay. Sorry, I had two links connected there. Oh,
You click the refresh button upper right of that panel.
there we go. Thank you. So I have this. This is the cover gallery slider. So notice it's keeping the sort of mask. The rounded corners is that mask of that page tool that I set up, right? Which is a nice effect. But maybe we want the 3D effect. So grab your page tool, change its effect to be. So I had it set to none. So that one's. We could try all of these. Refresh. So that's our. It's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth.
What happens if you increase the
More than sides of a cube.
no? Like, can you do it slowly? See how it like cuts at the end.
Yeah.
Far right.
Oh, it's what?
Because of the frame.
Yeah. So increase the size of the frame.
Is that possible?
No, it's doing that because of the way the transformation is happening. Even if you made it bigger, it would just scale to be that size. Although you could actually, we can hold on. I can fix that. Change the width to be auto, so it will center it inside that container. Come here. Ugh, why are we doing that? I don't know. Do I know? Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. All right. That just seems like a really shitty way to have to handle that. Like, how come I can't just, like, center it? Oh, that's just adding padding onto the container itself.
There's a padding on the page.
I am on the page setting. Like here?
No, like the
Like, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Gap. Oh, padding here. I see what you're saying. Sorry.
That's,
Yep. Okay, that's what I want. So this should then let's refresh it. Yeah, that doesn't cut it off then.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's how you would handle that then.
I didn't even notice this.
It is a nice. The only issue with that now then is if like you change this to be like cover flow. It's not. You're gonna. Oh, that's not so bad actually. Like seeing those. That's actually really nice. Okay, I like that. What's the default one? Is that the same as cover flow? Oh, it just keeps them same size. Actually, that's preferable, so you can see that there's more. Yeah. Let's find out. Oh, pile.
Yeah.
Let's do wheel first. Same? Must not be set up correctly for it or something? I don't know.
there's some
Is there a little?
Oh, it's probably like a big. Imagine a big wheel. So they're kind of.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So you can see that there's. Yeah, you still got to swipe through them. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's pretty handy. So that's the page tool, and it can create some really nice little expressive moments, I guess. I don't know. There's some other stuff I can show you guys that are kind of little fun things to add to your designs. You know how like in iOS, if you're going to delete like something from your lists or your notes or reminders or your email, right? You pull across it and it will reveal, if you drag like the name of an email, it will reveal a couple of options, like buttons, right? Those are things you can set up too. Like that's actually pretty easy to set up with just a couple R chords. Sam, you know your dial that you set up? All right, iOS has built into it kind of a similar type of dial. You would still have to brute force it. You'd still have to write like each number and however you wanted to do that. But the page tool would let you set those up so that you could smoothly slide through them. Right. The effect that you would use would just be the wheel effect, and then it cycles through all of them really easily and really nicely. And given enough of them, it will distort it. Like when you're on iOS, it looks like it's on a wheel because it distorts the numbers to make them look like they're going over a curve. Given enough and a big enough, given enough numbers and a big enough page box, you'll see that distortion happen.
Then we turn the momentum.
Yeah, and then you turn momentum on for that. Yeah, and even actually for like Pile, I think it'd be smart to turn on momentum for Pile. Maybe not. Maybe not. It makes it pretty touchy. Maybe not.
Do you know how to preview this on your actual phone?
Your device?
Yeah. I saw the feature, but I didn't have it set up.
No, let's find out. Scan the QR code with your camera or mobile and open it in a browser. Or you can use the Framer X app, apparently.
How do you? Do they have QR code?
Firefox does.
built in now?
Firefox does.
Like the camera,
What?
like the camera, built in cameras.
For iOS?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I haven't tried that out. Oh, yeah. That's smart. Joyous Hexagon dash freight 80.
Combine the sort of
It's not set up correctly for my device, so.
the design hunt reloads every time you like scroll.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Don't use it. Just set up a static one. So bad. So bad. That component that he's talking about that I had you guys use, or that is used in the this design hunt component to make the grid of like filler images. Don't use it. You know, and Mingto has you use it in the demo, but it's a pain in the butt. Just use the grid tool and fill it in with images that you get off of the internet from somewhere. Unsplash is always a good place to get them. So anything dynamic like that is just not loading correctly. Like it loads every time. Like Virgilio was pointing out, anytime you refresh it or resize it or do anything with it like that, it's gonna reload it, and it's kind of a pain. So that slider thing that I was talking about, I don't know if you guys want to see that, or should we just talk about the next assignment? Let's save this. Do you guys not care? All right, I'll show it to you. Then we'll talk about the next assignment. All right. So what I'm talking about is like when you have your Notes app and being able to, like, say I wanted to have an option to delete this line, right? I have a selection. All right. So I want to be able to click and drag and do this. I want that functionality, right? You want to have something that looks like that. That is really easy to set up. Okay. It's just the page tool. Underneath the page tool, though, you're going to want a frame, and that frame should have whatever color you're using as your background color for your option, your icon option. The reason being is we have this little row here that is the same width as the screen, because that's that option. That's the thing that we're going to move, right? And the page tool is transitioning between these two things. And when, come here. All right. When I'm doing that transition, now that icon is only 80 by 80 pixels. So what I see right now is that just the icon's background. But if I stretch it out and pull it back there, it'll snap back because I have momentum turned on. But if I don't have a frame underneath it that is the same color, it's going to show whatever the background color is, right? Whatever I'll show you what I mean. So I have that frame right here. It's the same color. You know what? I'll just stick this over here. So now we refresh. That's what that does. Okay. If we want to set up a different option besides the trash icon, we can duplicate that, change our background color to be whatever we want it to be. Maybe a different icon. I don't have any icons really downloaded right now. I couldn't find any good icons on the App Store.
The icon generator.
In the store? Did you find an icon generator?
Unsplash icon.
Oh, this way? This one? Oh,
The last story, right?
is it? I think I skipped that part.
Well, I think that, don't you have to still make them though?
No. That's what we can do. You select it like this, search, go on down, so
Like my icons dynamically loaded every time.
Okay, apparently it's taking a little bit to install.
What is the CSV?
The comma separated values.
I mean, SVG.
Scalable vector graphics.
So those are just.
It's a path.
Have as many. Or like,
You know when you draw an Illustrator,
yeah.
right? And what you're doing is creating points. You're setting coordinates for points, and then saying which points are connected to which points, and what are the characteristics of those lines between those points, and then if they close a shape, what's the characteristics of that shape
you can export it.
as SVG, and it comes in like it'll just show up as like numbers.
A big, like,
Yeah, it's a ton of numbers, and it's all one line. Yeah, it's an array.
In a browser, that's you can make it as big as you want. And it'll
Right. Yeah. They scale indefinitely, down and up. I don't know. This is taking forever to install, so whatever. I'll grab one that I have already. I'll just grab this one. Let's break the attach from the master here. There we go. Center border. There we go. Change it to white. No? Is that just, what is that? Is that not actually? Oh my god. Is it just an image or something? It is. I want to edit it. What's the point of giving that to me? Sorry, I'm getting mad at this thing now. There we go. Icon generator. So we'll call this one the, I don't know, what are the other options you have? The share. There we go. How's that invisible? Yeah, that's fine. You can't set it to any other color. Okay, whatever. We'll just leave it black for now. Okay, so set up your 3 icons, or set up whatever other icons you wanted. You'll with this one, it's gonna be a little different because we're trying to get around like the weirdness of how this shows up. Like I'll show you this here. When we stretch it, when you have your really tiny phone. So if we stretch this, and I didn't connect them. Sorry. Okay. So when we stretch this, you'll see that stretching is weird, and then it's also not really doing. There's no effect going on here, so we could do something like pile and kind of see what that looks like. Yeah, that's not what I want at all. Cover flow, let's try that. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I don't really like it, but it's kind of interesting. That's not gonna be good. Woo! Hey, that's actually kind of nice. I don't hate that. Huh.
Perspective.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll leave it. I don't know. Wheel's not gonna do what I wanted to do either, but that's all right.
Does it? I think it updates real time.
Does it?
I think.
Let's check. I think you are right. Yeah, that's cover flow for sure. All right, we'll just set it at none. Yeah, there we go. So that's, it's not really stretching. It's not doing that visual look of stretching. And then if you actually look at how these work in iOS, if you have more than one, a little sliver of them will each come out at the same time, and then they'll both grow at the same rate until they get to their point and they snap, and then those containers will stretch each equally if you pull it past. So you're not going to be able to truly recreate what it's doing, what iOS is doing. But if you want to kind of make a facsimile, this is the way to do it. And if you want to avoid the weirdness of the white space there, pick one of these colors and just stick to it. My recommendation is pick the bottom color. Right? Just because if we're stretching past, although maybe our color should be swapped here because trash should really be red, and this one we should swap our colors. There we go. And then we should set them up differently.
This is pages, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure how to take the page off, actually. So how do you? Oh, there we go. Content. So content rows right here. If you want to swap them, you can just drag them like that, and they'll rearrange how the content is ordered inside the page thing. Okay, so now it should, even though these look like, I'll move them to make it a little more indicative of what I want. So share first, that last, and then I would make this frame I don't know, I'd make it that color. That just seems better to me. Although that looks weird. I guess the red.
Is it possible to not let it go the other direction?
No, that's I mean, you have to turn off momentum. You're just not going to have the same feel. So one way you could get around this, actually I just thought about this. So right now I have a frame that stretches the entire width. Have a frame on that side that is yellow, and then just duplicate it and drag it over. God damn it. Wish you could lock stuff. That's, I think, one of my only gripes about the hierarchy.
Another thing is how in the links, if you try to click on the source of the connection, it removes the connection. What I would want to see is what the connection is.
Right. Yeah, agreed. That would be something. I might actually send. The owner has been emailing me because I guess we're the first university. We're test piloting this for them. They want to do an educational outreach, and so we're the first university where they've had it installed or they have classes using it. So like all of the projects you guys build, I'm sending to them. It's part of the agreement of getting the licenses, so don't fuck up. All right. Okay. Anyway, so for this, I think, do you guys see what I'm doing? Like I'm setting up one. Like this frame is going to have that yellow color because it's on the left side. This frame is going to have the red color because it's on the right side. And so what that should do, a yellow there, stretch there. That makes sense? So it looks a little smoother.
Can you white on the left side?
Can I what?
Do white
Instead of that red?
instead of the
Oh, on this side?
yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't like that?
I don't like it.
Yes,
Could
you
do
can.
it white if you wanted to, right?
You could do it white, but we have these lines here too, so we're gonna need to set that up. You're just all kinds of trouble, aren't you?
Maybe a gray.
What did you say? All right, we need to move on here in a second. What did I have this? What do I have them set at for the other ones here? Okay. Is that this one? This one? This one? Nope. Alright. EEE. 1 pixel. Alright, so what this should do now is keep that line there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's alright. I like the yellow more, but that's just me. Yeah, so that would be one way to do something like that. I don't know. If you wanted to give that a shot. Then do that for each of these, of course. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's something else to show you guys. We should just move on. So for tonight, or for the draft that you should turn in, well, I'll make a Dropbox for the final. I haven't done that. But what I want you to turn in then is just get up to yeah. I want it finished. I want this home page finished. Put a page component in here and have it cycle through some stuff. Okay, I don't care how much you have it cycle through. At least 3 things, but more is always good too. Okay, and then everything should be connected to something, and there should be no dead ends. All right, you guys all know what I mean when I say no dead ends, right? I shouldn't get stuck on a page. I should be able to click out of that page and get back to the home somewhere. You do not have to code. We're going to ignore the React component unless you absolutely want to. Parker, Virgilio, whoever, Trent, I don't know. If you guys want to code, code. All right. If you don't want to code, don't code. That's completely up to you. I'm not going to force it. After learning more about it, it just seems really redundant. You can build a lot of that stuff into, unless you're making dynamic components like a status bar or something, then you'd want to code, but we don't need to.
I feel like also, like, just, like, you don't need to start from code. Like, you could design the component and then, like, add functionality there.
Right, I agree. I just don't want you guys to get scared about what's going on with Framer. So don't worry about dealing with React, or at least coding stuff. But you do need to have a projects page, a courses page. It should look similar-ish to this. Your projects, of course, should have some projects on them, not just be empty like mine. I need to flesh that out. You don't necessarily have to do a grid. Maybe you want to approach this differently. Okay. You could do a thing where you build a stack. Like I could take these 3 things, duplicate them, and put them inside of a stack.
It's a JSON file trying to open the minutes.
That's weird. Wait, me think about how I did that. Right. Sorry, your stack should be up here. So like maybe I take a stack and I build my stack in here. And then I take these three things, rearrange them. All right, stick them on a frame that is the right width. 375. Come here, come here, come here. Set my stack. No, I didn't set that up right. Drop your items there. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. And just drop them into the stack so that it fills that stack. You can do that. You could set it up like courses is set up with a scroll instead of a stack. You could, I mean, however you want to do it, get it fleshed out. It's totally up to you. But then these need to be maybe connected to that. Just make sure there's no dead ends. Okay. So if I do click on one of these, it needs to go somewhere. So if I'm sliding through here, there should probably be a project page that has that image and just some filler text or something, in the same way that we have the courses set up. Okay? Any questions about that? I'm still recording.